Elon Musk finally revealed new electric airplane. Game changer. Elon Musk, the visionary entrepreneur who has revolutionized everything from electric cars to space travel, has unveiled his latest game changer, an all-electric airplane. Is Musk trying to take Tesla up in the air? The anticipation has been building for months, with rumors and speculation swirling around what this innovation could mean for the future of air travel. And now, the big reveal is here. Hold on to your seats, because this is about to change everything you thought you knew about flying. You're now watching EVNN. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more similar videos. Now, let's get started. If you've ever used a carbon footprint calculator and entered your flight history, you have seen how a journey that was only an hour or two distant increased the overall impact that you had on the environment. The use of so much jet fuel has a negative impact, but one day, electric planes might be able to save the day. An aircraft that does not produce any emissions could cover the same distance as a flight from San Francisco to Los Angeles, which generates 332 to 337 pounds of carbon dioxide emissions for a round trip. The public's perception of electric vehicles is mostly attributable to Tesla, as well as, to a lesser extent, Nissan and Hyundai, and even Toyota with its hybrid Prius model. Now, numerous companies are trying to convince pilots that electric planes are the future. Electric batteries, rather than the more expensive and polluting jet fuel, are the focus of research and development efforts by several startup companies in the aviation industry. The concept of electric planes isn't new, but because of advancements in battery technology, we're getting closer than we ever have before. Elon Musk has stated that he is dying to extend Tesla beyond the production of automobiles and trucks and construct an electric supersonic plane. Vertical takeoff and landing, or VTOL technology, would be used by the aircraft to climb to a high altitude, and then battery-powered propulsion would be used to propel the aircraft to speeds over 1,236 kilometers per hour, which is about 768 miles per hour. The multi-talented billionaire claimed that the only thing preventing him from creating the airplane of the future generation is the amount of work he already has on his plate. Mr. Musk is currently the CEO of three firms that are worth many billions of dollars each: SpaceX, Twitter, and Tesla. He's also the founder of the neurotechnology startup Neuralink and the tunnel-digging enterprise The Boring Company. In addition to being a parent to 10 kids, he was also a co-founder of the artificial intelligence company OpenAI. He recently tweeted, using emojis for the final two words, "I am so dying to do a supersonic, electric VOTL jet, but adding more effort will make my brain explode." The billionaire emphasized the possibilities for battery-powered boats and planes on March 1st during Tesla's most recent Investor Day. On March 1st, Elon Musk revealed the third part of Tesla's master plan, which is the purpose that the billionaire assigns to the manufacture of electric automobiles to transform society toward a sustainable power economic system. This proposal certainly includes a complete overhaul of the various modes of transportation. Tesla has already pushed the whole automotive industry to build electric vehicles, which will result in a reduction in the amount of pollution produced. The company has just unveiled a revolutionary new automobile manufacturing platform to cut production costs by a factor of 50. The goal is to make low-cost automobiles available to attract people in large numbers who are still reluctant to purchase electric vehicles due to the often exorbitant prices of such vehicles. Throughout the talk, Musk made the bold proclamation that all cars will transition to 100% electric and driverless. The tech mogul also appears to believe that electrified boats and planes are the future frontiers in transportation. At any rate, this is what he was getting at when he included the airplanes and boats in the presentation that he gave to customers during the live-streamed event. Drew Baggino, Senior Vice President of Powertrain and Energy Engineering at Tesla, made a comment on the stage about how sustainably fueling planes and boats is an essential component of the whole pie. He admitted that having battery-powered planes with a high energy density was somewhat tougher, but he said that short haul is achievable right now. With some upgrades, we'll be able to get long-range operations started, but even in the meanwhile, we'll be able to take advantage of sustainable aviation fuels that are created and stored using additional renewable electrical energy. Musk stated that there is a significant amount of construction taking place in this area. Musk then said that to have battery-powered planes and boats with a great range, there needs to be a redesign of both the ship and the plane. Similar to how you wouldn't simply put a battery in a gasoline-powered car and call it an electric vehicle, you wouldn't be able to do that here either. That's not a very good solution. Having the battery come before the construction of the automobile is a lot more efficient, he explained, adding that if that is done with a plane, you would get long-range planes. Musk came to the following conclusion. When we improve the power density of batteries, you'll see all modes of transportation go completely electric except rockets. The entrepreneur did not specify whether or not Tesla intended to build battery-powered boats and planes, or whether or not he was merely offering suggestions to plane manufacturers. Would you get on board on a battery-powered airplane? Those who lived in the 1960s would be dismayed to see how little has changed since then. They couldn't care less about things like smartphones. Also, they fantasized about a time in the not-too-distant future when flying cars would be commonplace well before the year 2000. The foreseeable future is discouraging. In reality, not much has moved from before. But at some point in time, the company prioritized making money over improving the client experience. The newly released documentation from Tesla outlines Elon Musk's vision of the future, which could reignite the enthusiasm of those who have posters on their walls. According to patents, electric planes and boats could be the next big thing from Tesla. Tesla made a recommendation about the production of electric motors for boats, aviation, and other vehicles in a recent trademark application that remained undetected. Tesla is expanding its trademark to include a new category so that it can market electric motors that are not for land vehicles. Tesla's trademark on electric motors has been expanded to encompass motors for airplanes, boat motors, and electric motors for toys, though the filing's definition of the category is a little unclear. The following is what is written in the document that Tesla presented to the United States Patent and Trademark Office. The Tesla trademark registration is intended to cover the categories of asynchronous motors, not for land vehicles, motors for airplanes, motors, specifically synchronous motors, not for land vehicles, permanent magnet motors, boat motors, drive systems having two or more synchronous motors coupled through clutches to drive a common load, electric motors for toys, and linear motors. Tesla asserts in the petition that it intends to utilize the trademark in the future, even though it does not currently use the name for the aforementioned categories. The noun toy can mean many different things to many different people. However, Radio Flyer, the business that manufactures and sells the full quad, uses a generic electric motor that was not developed by Tesla. There is a Tesla Cyber Quad for children, however, Radio Flyer does not make it. The term linear motors, which can be found in a variety of different machines but are most widely recognized for their application in trains, is also included in the paper. But the phrase motors for airplanes stands out as the one that intrigues me the most. Elon's been daydreaming about all-electric aircraft for quite some time now. Mr. Musk has previously discussed the notion of an electric jet during one of his appearances on the Joe Rogan podcast. This is not the first time he's expressed his desire to construct an electric jet, and it will not be the last. He declared, "I have an idea for a plane. Some form of electric vertical takeoff and landing. The supersonic jet would be the most fascinating thing to achieve." The design calls for the deployment of not one but two distinct propulsion systems. The first would be used to launch the aircraft into the air and above the crowd, while the second would be used to drive the vehicle ahead at supersonic speeds. Because of the requirement to counteract the effects of gravitational potential energy, the most interesting thing about an electric plane is that you want to go as high as possible, but you need a specific energy density in the battery pack, he explained. If you've overcome gravitational potential energy and you're at a high altitude, the amount of energy you spend while you're cruising is quite minimal, and you can recuperate a large part of your gravitational potential energy on the way down. When you ascend to a greater altitude, you can maintain the same rate of travel while using less energy. And if you fly at a specific altitude, you can achieve supersonic speed while expending less energy per mile, a significant amount less energy per mile than an airplane flying at 35,000 feet. Musk even stated that he had a plan for an electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, but he has argued constantly that Tesla should focus on ground vehicles for the foreseeable future. According to the CEO, the automaker may enter the market for electric aircraft if there is a sufficient rise in battery energy density to make such aircraft commercially viable. Musk anticipated that the required energy density would be 400 watt-hours per kilogram, and while certain battery technologies are beginning to reach that level, they are not yet being produced in huge quantities. About boats, Tesla's not made any public statements about any plans to create electric boats. Yet, it appears to be a market that is ready for innovation. What are the obstacles that prevent electric planes from taking off? The future of electric planes is something that companies like Aviation and BOMBSHELL are optimistic about. Yet, industry insiders continue to disagree on whether or not an electric plane could be successful without considerable advances in battery technology. According to Jayant Mukhopadhyay, a transportation analyst with the International Council on Sustainable Transportation, battery technology just has not advanced to the point where it could be considered viable. In a recent investigation, Mukhopadhyay and his colleagues concluded that the range of electric planes will be considerably confined by the technologies that are currently available for energy storage. According to what he said to the MIT Technology Review, they were surprised by how bad the range was. According to the calculations made by industry professionals, a battery-powered aircraft with 19 seats would have a maximum cruise range of approximately 160 miles, which is a significant amount less than the claim made by the firm of 250 miles. They were able to do this through the utilization of estimations for existing battery densities and the plane weight constraints. Some insiders argue that the assessments produced by outside observers are wrong, since the observers do not have sufficient knowledge of the battery pack technology and the plane design utilized by the corporations. The company has decided to develop its aircraft rather than attempt to adapt an existing design so that it can be powered by batteries. Estimates from the International Council on Clean Transportation, or ICCT, indicate that the energy density of batteries would need to be more than double before they could support the shorter routes that companies are pursuing. That development is definitely getting closer and closer to reaching the limit of lithium-ion batteries, which are currently used in electric vehicles and consumer electronics devices. Even if progress continues at this rate, until 2050, electric aircraft will only be able to replace a fraction of the number of conventional aircraft needed to cut emissions from the aviation sector by less than 1% unless mass production is achieved. Aviation, now the leader in the field of future electric planes, may soon find itself up against some formidable rivals. Comment down your thoughts below, and we'll be right back with more videos soon. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.